Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a bit more Stationeers. We're on a liftoff update, though that's probably not happening anytime soon. And we've created our little room here that essentially smelts ore as required. I guess there's only one missing component, which is the ingot coming out the other end. Because the whole point of automating this is so that we can actually capture the gases with this little room that we've set up. And I feel like, I mean, we could just have it deposit straight out that wall, but ultimately it would make more sense to sort of have it dump back out here, right? Let's see, chutes. We have got a bunch of iron. I think we've got more iron lying around. But even that 9 might do it enough. Because how much is a chute? Oh, 3 per. What a bloody rip. Oh, wow. I guess we'll just have to see how far that takes us. We'll at least lay down these 3 first. We should... Oh, Jesus. That bloke's in a hurry. Right, so if we do something like this... I mean, I guess we could just... Oh my god, come on, I'm getting confused. That's good. Oh my god, hang on. There. There, that's what we want. I guess what I'll do is just put one... I like that I keep doing these little test ingots that are getting out of control. Let's do another 1 test. Hang on. Select, split, 1. It should be as simple as just put it in, right? And pull the trigger. Right. And it goes. Look at that. Now, will it just poop out the chute? It will! That's so good. Okay, that's all we want. That's as complicated as it needs to be at this point, to be perfectly honest. So, all we got to do is run that chute system essentially outside of this containment, and then we can keep that thing permanently closed. But we'd be leaving the fan on the whole time, which I'm not against, but that's definitely going to put a bit more draw. And look at this. This refers back to what we were saying. At the moment, our draw against our grid isn't so bad. We're not having a problem charging these batteries. So having like a battery offset... sorry, we've got a battery charger, so having that stick off the back of this might be one of the first things that we do to shore up the power grid. But once we have, I mean, it seems to be handling all the logic systems and the furnace just going always. But when this is going, that's going to put another, how much is it? Like 100 watts? I can't remember how much it is, but it might actually push us over the edge. But we're going to shore up the power next. And one of the next steps to doing that, it's not so much doing dishes, though if we're in trouble, we might have to. It'll be more that we need to make a battery. God damn it. It'd be more that we need to make a bigger battery, because at the moment all we've got is power controllers, and even so we can't build these on current tech, and we can't build that on current tech. So we need steel or solder, and both of them are going to require us to combine things to make alloys, which you can't do with this machine. So we need to make the furnace. I hope that explains it all. Contents. I'm so glad you guys taught me about this contents thing. We're going to need some iron, because I need to finish making those chutes. Just sort of... Don't necessarily want to stray too far, because I thought there was some iron nearby. Look at that. Oh, don't do it to me. This game keeps teasing me. It keeps giving me tiny little specks of of source of resources. Alright.
Jetpack on.
We'll continue along. How much is that? 5. That'll get us 1 chute. 1 2/3 of a chute. There we go. Oh, did it turn it on? There we go. Oh, this is a bit better. I think we might have exhausted. I'm not seeing... Oh, there you go. You can sort of see the text pop up through the wall. Gives away the location of ore sometimes. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is over there. Okay. Okay. Oh, who made all this mess? Unbelievable. This is the messiest run I've ever had.
Hunger. Caution.
Look, I guess if we... No, I shouldn't have to mess with that. But if we were to do that... Nice. Now, I should still have some, like, muesli bars going, right? Oh, look at that. Look, we definitely got out in front of it with our food production early. Nice. Yeah, look, that's definitely going to put a bit of drain on our... Everything's run at the moment. I could go in and do the rounds there. I don't really want to just yet. Not when we're drawing so hard on the grid. Okay, there you go. So it's pooped it out. Now that's the other problem. We can't be certain when all the gas has been actually drained out by doing this. But when this is finished, we'll never have to go into this room again. That's the plan. Shoot, how many more are we going to need, you reckon? 1, 2, 3, maybe 5? Because I'll have to wiggle it. I think we put it in too close. 3. Let's try 5. In fact, we'll just go... Oh, hang on. That could be a pain. That could be a bit of a pain. Let's remove that. Good to know, though, that you can't really run wires and all that through. You can't always be sure of how the rules work on this game. Right, that's what I'm interested in. What do you reckon? I probably need a wrench or something. Good guess. Look at that, that's worked out alright. What a guess. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Alright. We'll chuck one more little test one through. Just to double check. Yoink. And it goes. And it cooks. And out it comes. Look at that. We've done it, team. So the last sort of step is now we need leave this on permanently. And now we seal the room. And that's it. We should never have to go in there ever again. But the problem that we have is that's going to put an unfathomable draw on our thing. Oh, hang on. Look at that. There's 6 extra iron. I mean, I still needed more anyway, so it's not that big a deal. We still had to do the little lap. Okay, so what's going to happen here is let's... I mean, I'm going to want access to the battery. We could probably squeeze it in there, actually, after all that. Hang on. There it is. Alright, so... what I want to do, at least in this sort of short term... Hang on. Well, look, as long as it's drawing off the main, that's fine. That's all that really matters. Yes, we could put it there. I don't want to interfere with the grid anymore if I can help it. Now, the problem with that is, like, are we going to just run our life support in our suit on a small battery from now on so we don't interfere with the grid as much? And I'm going to give it a go, actually. I'm going to give it a go. Now, we did have a spare battery sitting in that solar charger over here that we're not really using. So that's what we're gonna... do. Yeah. So, I mean... maybe we just lean straight into it and we commit. Let's just give it a proper go. So we'll make our grid actually even stronger. We've made our grid as strong as we possibly can, right? And now I'm running on small batteries, which are going to tick down in record time. We'll see how long we can sort of sustain that, but at least we've shored the grid up as big as possible for the moment. And you can see that battery's draining fast, but that's because it's back charging this one as well. Now, we might be able to get away with that for a little while. And the main reason for doing that is, like, I don't want to be pulling these batteries out of these power controllers, like, ever. Like, we could close them up. I'd rather not, because I like seeing the status of the batteries that are in there. But now we should only interact with this charger, which shouldn't interrupt the main power flow of the entire grid. So shoring up that grid is a big step, but we kind of already just did it then. Getting more solar panels potentially might be, like, if it can actually offset this always running, then maybe getting more panels going is the go. Now we just sort of got to think about where we're going to do that. I've been enjoying extending my base down here infinitely, and potentially going down, like, we've got a pseudo corridor along here. So if we were going to put a new solar panel grid, and we also discussed the idea of having this as potentially a static jumpstart. Well, actually, no, hang on. Let's just think about this, because I don't really do big power grids of solar panels, right? So consider the ultimate one would be all in a row along there. You know what I mean? Because of the sun axis. I guess you could elevate them, hypothetically. I don't really care, to be honest. But say we had 2 solar panels going along that axis, they are going to cut into each other's efficiency a little bit. You know what I mean? But having said that, I prefer the idea of a more compact grid. So I would be more inclined to do like a 2x2 as opposed to like a 4 in a row. Do you know what I mean? I would rather make a square that goes out that way. As far as needing access to sort of do, maintenance or anything like that.
Power low.
Look at that, we went through that so fast. 50% already. So the difference between the batteries is disgusting. So it's not really tenable, is it? But I still will want to shore this up. Okay, cool. So I think we'll do it that way. The one thing that I worry about is this lander. Now, can I move this somehow? Is that a thing that I can do? Do I just have to accept that it's fucking gonna sit there forever? Can you deconstruct it? Angle grinder to deconstruct. What happens if I do it with all the other... Oh, Jesus. Okay, hang on. Is this gonna explode? Hey. Let's find out. Oh, look at that. That's cool. That's cool. I like that a lot. All right.
Jetpack on.
I mean, we're gonna have to come up with a storage solution of some sort, but that's cool. I've never done that before. You can bolt these onto like little fasteners that you can make, so they're not like such a sort of free object. Because I get terrified that these things are gonna, you know, they'll have a physics interaction and just shit the bed and explode and rocket along like a bullet. We've seen it happen before. In fact, just about any game that behaves like this, that sort of thing happens. So it's not necessarily unique to this game. All right. Where do I? Don't really want to do it.
Critical.
Yeah, okay. Now you see that. Well, actually, let's turn it off for a sec. Okay, cool. It's powering more than the system's drawing. Do you know what I mean? So once it charges that battery, that should go back to blue-green. At least these little batteries charge in record time. I could have a whole bank of them, you know? As long as I'm not going on long missions away from the base or anything like that. But once that fully charges, it's almost there, that will start charging that grid up as well. So it's not so bad. It was a bit panicky overnight, but not so bad overall. Okay, cool. So let's just start with that. Now, interestingly, because of the way I'm going to build this sort of grid that's just going to infinitely expand out, I'm not worried about having access gantries for like maintenance or anything like that. We'll just build it in a block. Because the sun rises from there, this is the perfect candidate for one to be totally unplugged from the main grid, so that it has no automation, but it exists purely to jumpstart the logic, as we discussed, which is a pretty cool concept. So that will feed purely into the sort of logic circuit to power it enough to run the system, right? Now, because it's a jump start, now that I'm thinking about it, I would probably want the rest of the dishes to also power into that thing as well. So I guess the only difference would be, the only true difference would be that we would unplug this from the logic. That would be it. Everything else, well, actually, no, you wouldn't want this power, the power from this particular dish going into the main grid. I'm worried that this sets up the opportunity for a fucking short circuit, or because we'd have a brownout if not, because we kind of want it isolated. Anyway, one thing at a time. Let's drop this over here. We're going to need a new solar panel to put over here,
Jetpack on.
which we don't have, and I believe you make them in the electronics printer. Solar panel. Jeez, it requires quite a bit. Oh, we've got perfect amount of copper. We're just going to need gold of all things. Yeah. Wow, we're going through it. We're going through it. I don't mind so much. It's fine. Like, it's creating more of an embuggerance, making us go back and forth to deal with it. But, like, in the scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. Not for the moment, anyway, because it is just a stopgap. We're currently working towards resolving our power issues. Jesus, quite the hole, isn't it? Looking for gold is always the problem. Always. Copper. Iron. I mean, at least we've got a lot of them, you know. Because they're way more sort of... Copper is a little bit... sorry, gold is a little bit more... bloody bespoke. You don't use that for a lot of stuff. And even when you do use it, you use it in very small quantities. But yeah, the copper and iron situation around here is outrageous. Having all these volatiles everywhere is pretty helpful too, because we're going to get to a point where we start using them. It'll be interesting as well, because we'll set up a gas capture system for the big furnace too, because I don't believe the burns aren't usually perfect ratioed. We could try it, but like I don't think it can happen just because of rounding errors. So you do always, well, I don't want to say always, I don't want to be definitive, but you tend to end up with, geez, look how much volatile there is. You tend to end up with excess,
Hunger. Caution.
like H, or whatever it is called in this, H2, whatever you can call it, and O2 after doing a burn, like, so it will still exhaust. It's not a 100% clean burn. And you will still get errant exhaust parts of both of the sort of fuel mixture. So we'll capture that, but you gotta be careful as well, because now all of a sudden we've got H2 in our capture tank. So we're gonna have to filter that out, because we don't want to accidentally bloody detonate everything. God damn, what a task. Oh, hang on. That's got a special glint to it. It could just be the
Power low.
silver or something. Oh man, what a nightmare. I'm pretty sure we had the same problem last time we went looking for, I'm going back into repower. I might just have to do the straight line challenge in a minute. Oh, Jesus.
Jetpack on. Jetpack on.
Oh, I was going to eat the food, but because I deconstructed the lander, that's made things interesting. Alright, let's just go. Which way is this way? 270 degrees, eh? Yeah, having the compass introduced is kind of almost cheating. Sun's going down, we've got to be careful here. In fact, we probably will steal jetpack. Uranium. Which still doesn't have a function from what I understand in this game. Not yet. Ooh. How shit is this? Absolute weakest part of this game. Oh, we're going to head back now. Yeah, look at that, because we're just outside of draw distance. Oh, that's frustrating. Now, the other thing is, it's interesting because I'm not going to get into the mod conversation too much, but suffice to say, I've made my feelings on mods pretty clear. I'm not a very big mod person, but I don't poo-poo mods existing, right? For various reasons, people like to mod games and that. People have suggested that I get some sort of mod, or even I modify the game within the sort of custom setup, which I don't want to, and we'll get to that. To go, oh, maybe increase the stacks of ore, you know, modify the thing, the balance. And I'm like, no. What you're now asking me to do, or rather you yourself in the hypothetical, is to modify the base game that's shipped and packaged as is. You know, we pressed go on survival mode, and because it's not doing its job properly, because it's not giving us the ore in a larger quantity, or at least a large enough quantity that we don't get fucking frustrated at this game, that I need to make concession and modify the parameters, right? To which I say, no. You shouldn't go down that path. What should actually happen is the game should function correctly at a base level, and it shouldn't frustrate you because of a broken mechanic. And if it does frustrate you, to a point, like, we can tolerate it for the moment, I'll just keep searching out there. But if we end up spending like another episode or two just looking for ore, that's when I go, no, the game's fucked. The game doesn't work properly, and it's unpleasant to play, and it's unpleasant to watch. I'm not getting necessarily angry at this game. This is more of a broad general concept. But I think I would love to have a culture shift around that. Mod the game to your heart's content for fun and fine tweaking, but I think if you're coming to me and saying, let's mod the amount of ore balance in the game, not because of like personal preference or anything like that, but because the game's a shit experience with its current settings, then that, I think the person that suggests modding it is coming at the problem back to front. You know, you are already you've already lost in a way. Not that it's a battle or anything like that. You've already conceded, and what you should actually do is stomp your foot. It's not quite vote with your wallet, but it's sort of like vote with your time. It's like, if the game's going to waste my time, I'm refusing to modify it to make it a better experience. You should dig your heels in and say, developers, sort your shit out. I'm not going to play your game if you're not going to ship it correct, or if you're not going to present it to me properly. Anyway, that's sort of my thought on that, because again, like, you want to do a total conversion mod and put bloody elves and fairies in and do all that sort of stuff, that's fine. And we've also discussed it. I love the idea of mods as a sort of like a melting pot for upcoming devs. You know, giving them something to put on the resume and work with and hone their skills. I think it's actually fantastic for the industry and the talent pool as a whole. But as soon as a game's not working as intended, and or the gameplay loop is kind of crap, like for example in this, the mining, as soon as you got a gameplay loop that's not working well and it's frustrating the player, the answer should never be to modify it as the player to make it work better. The answer should be no. Don't, protest, as lack of a better term, basically. So anyway, so that's my thoughts. I hope people understand what I'm getting at. It's interesting. So many people on the internet, because of anonymity, their reaction is to rebuke and to fight. They listen to answer. They listen to respond and not to learn. I'm saying something from a perspective that maybe someone might not have thought of, a very pro-mod person thought of. Instead of trying to fight me and debate me and go, no, you're wrong and I'm right. That's not what it is. The whole point is, hear what I'm saying. It's something that maybe you haven't considered, and put it into your process and let it challenge you, sort of thing. Because on the other side of it, like I said, I've already done that process in a way, because I'm kind of pro-mod these days for everyone else but me. Because I don't have an interest in programming. I don't have an interest in total conversions or changing a game. So I recognise the value of mods, but not to fix a game if the game's not doing its job at a base level. Not ever. I understand that you could physically do it, but you shouldn't. You're a consumer, you're a video game player, you're not a programmer, and you're not a free unpaid beta tester for the company to do their job. Anyway, a little bit of a rant at the end. It's not necessarily fired by vitriol or venom, because I still do love this game, and I've made it very clear that I dislike the mining loop, because it's just, they keep adding things and upgrading things, and yet they won't fix one of the core loops of the game, which is a bit frustrating. I kind of wish they would. And, I think the more people that sort of concede and mod the game files or whatever, the ore balances and the way they spawn to their own personal level, the less the dev is likely to actually fix it. They're going to just go, stuff it. If we can outsource this labor onto the player base, then fuck them. All right. Anyway, so there's just a bit of a thought at the end. Yeah. But this, again, for people that maybe only watch Stationeers, this is sort of my established position on mods anyway. I've opened this can of worms before many times. So we'll see how we go with the sort of the gold situation. I'm curious what people have to say, but discussion, not angry debate. I'm not interested in that. If you come out swinging being a dickhead, you're just going to get muted. But if you do have something interesting to add to the conversation, I'm always curious. Now, isn't that interesting that counts as airtight, from what I can understand? Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, look, we'll endeavour to look for some more gold. But one last thought as well. A big part of why I don't edit videos and I just put them up in one block is because I can. I think a lot of people can't sustain talking and all that. Know your skill set. I've got a mediocre level of charisma. I can handle not having to edit it. But I also believe that you can hide shit from editing. All right, you can hide me saying fuck or something. You could edit that out, right? But also to another point, you could misrepresent the game. And by doing it the way that we do it this way, if we're going to end up having to spend fucking 3 episodes looking for bloody gold, I'm not misrepresenting the true core of this game and the fault. And that goes for every game, not just this one. So let's hope it doesn't turn out that way. You never know, we might find gold in the first 2 minutes on the next episode. Fingers crossed, team. Thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.